What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? This is your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk. I hope everybody had a great week. I definitely had a great week, but as usual, man, it just was fast. Like the week went by so quickly. But I am glad to be here. This is one of my favorite parts of the week. So, as usual, Let's Take Walks brings you the most interesting, the most booked and busy, the most uh, hustling, the most business minded, the most you name it, guests that we possibly can. And tonight is definitely no exception. Tonight, Eltar welcomes Miss Tishima Gramby. She is a celebrity stylist. She is a CEO, if you will. She is a hair a hair hustler. um, and you name it, she does it. And so we're just gonna sit down with her and just chop it up and kind of get the who's, what's, and whys of what she does. And maybe we might get some exclusives. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but for those of you who may not be familiar with Miss Granby and her movement, I'm going to give her a moment to kind of reintroduce herself and just give a little background of who she is and some of the things that she has going on. So, with that being said, Mr. Shima, you have the floor.
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you for having me. I am honored. Um, I don't do many podcasts and things like that. No particular reason. I'm just always on the move, always kind of busy. So it's kind of hard to be able to sit still. So thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, Tim Granby has been introduced. I am a serial entrepreneur, I would say, but I still kind of stay in my lane. Um, my brand is Queen of Diamonds. Actually, I'm in Queen of Diamonds right now. This is the hair salon side. The boutique is over there. I live in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. I used to tour heavily between North Carolina and Virginia, but now I'm a little bit more stationary because I do celebrity hair. So that kind of
Absolutely. So let's with I'm with Miss Tashima Granby. This is Let's Take a Walk podcast, and we just want to start from. I guess we'll just start from the beginning. Like, where did this love for styling and hair and this whole beauty thing? Where did the itch come from?
wow. I haven't taken a walk in a while. I normally just pick up the last couple of years. I don't necessarily go back to the love and the start of it, but it comes from when I was 7 years old. I was 7 years old and my mother stopped doing my hair. And I'm like she stopped doing my hair. I had to do my own hair. And
Wow.
and when I asked her, like fast forward, when I asked her when I got older, she said because I knew you could do it yourself. You were like,
Mm,
"Mom, you didn't know that." She was like, "Yeah, I did." She said, "I knew you could do your own hair yourself, so you know, I'll let you do your own hair." And then coming from that, she fostered that by letting me do hair in our kitchen. So
mm,
actually brought me the professional hood hair dryer. She brought me the like I knew how to use a Marcel at the age of 14 that you put on the stove. So I had a big bin of rollers. Like I literally did hair like in the kitchen. So that's where my beginning came. It came from my mom, like just seeing that I could do hair and just fostering it, and it kind of took off from there.
wow. So you started off as the kitchen beautician, huh?
For sure.
Okay. Um, we were talking a little bit offline before we came on, and I was saying how when when I have a guest on the platform, I try to research them as much as possible. Just to kind of get a sense of who they are in different areas and different spots or whatever. And so, um, you know, to your point about your mom, I heard in the interview where you were saying how your mom was kind of your guinea pig, so
Wow.
to speak.
Yeah,
Uh,
you really did your research. You really did your research.
yeah, so your mom was kind of your guinea pig as you were going through your whole, educational process. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so I forgot about that, and they said I'm glad you did your research because that is a key factor. I dropped out of high school at 16. I dropped out of the
Mm,
11th grade. I dropped out of high school, and I re-enrolled at COA. And at that time, they just had opened up an adult high school diploma. Like it used to be GED for so long, they just had came out with the adult high school diploma program. That long story really short, I was like, I'm just gonna go get my diploma out there. So went out there, got my diploma, enrolled in cosmetology school. I was still 16, um, but the teacher that was there was prejudiced. I started cosmetology. I started class on Monday. I was kicked out on Thursday, and she said the reason being because I had too many tardiness. And I'm like, well, I've been here every day. And she was like, well, your tardiness, she said, your tardiness count as absences. I mean, she just kind of just threw a reason at me. So I got kicked out. Didn't know any better. So bags was packed. Uh, I started over again the next semester. The next semester, she gave me straight F's on every test I took. It'll be one question. She'll have it marked twice as 2X. I mean, so by the time she finished, I had like a 20, 40, or 50 on every test I take. And so she failed me that second semester. I started back over and then just had gotten a new teacher in and I enrolled under her with her class. And but the backtrack just a little, my mom decided that she wanted to go to hair school too. So during that third time, um, my mom had signed up, so we was gonna go together the third time. I got to class the first day, my mom wasn't there. I'm like, where is she? My mom didn't show up to school. So when class was over, I go to her house. I'm like, Mom, like, what's going on? She was like, oh, I done changed my mind, girl. I ain't going. She was like, I done
wow.
you changed your mind, you know? So I was like disappointed, but this is still my journey. I don't even know what made my mom decide she was going to go to her school anyway. Well, anyway, this next day I went back to school and guess who's in the classroom? My mom.
Your mom. Okay.
So here's the third time. I started taking tests. I started making like straight A's and B's on the test. Um, I compared like the test from the last semester and the new semester, and it was the same material. But on the last semester test with the old teacher, there was marked wrong. New teacher, it was right. So when I sit
Wow.
and compared like two of the two tests, that made me think, okay, I was bamboozled. So I took those tests down there to the vice president and I showed him and I asked him, can he explain this? And he was like, do you have any more proof of this? I'm like, yeah, I have a whole book sack full. I still got my test in my backpack from last semester. So that's when the ball started rolling to they started investigating, I guess. Um but even with the school investigating, they didn't really do much. It was kind of sweeping on the rug. So once I realized that, I went to the board of trustees. That's the people in the community that's over the president and kind of told them what was going on. And so when they got involved, that's when things kind of got taken a little bit more serious. Um,
Mhm.
so while I'm in, so basically, I'm in the third time's the charm, I guess. I'm, I asked them, being that it wasn't my fault, number one, that she put me out the first time, because you have to be tardy three times to equal one absent. The, I didn't even go the whole week. So that explains that. That's impossible. And
Right.
then like second time, I got the whole backpack full of tests to compare that she failed me, maliciously. So I was like, I still want to graduate with my class. Like that wasn't my fault. Can I still, graduate? They say, yeah, we're gonna let you graduate with your class, but there's only one problem. You still have to have a certain amount of completions to go to state board. You still have to have a certain amount of hair color, roller sets, haircuts, and all that to take state board. There's nothing we can do about that. But if you can do that, yeah, you can graduate with your class. Um, so my mom was a ram in the bush because my mom was like, I'm about to wear this weave ponytail and you about to dye it, take it down. Dye it, wash it out. Dye it, wash it out. You about to roller set my hair, take it down. Roller set my hair, take it down. When I tell you that, and I can't think too much into it because I would tear up to think about it. But she was literally that ram in the bush because if my mom wasn't there, I wouldn't have baby got out. I wouldn't have baby got there like
Wow. That's an amazing, that's
you
amazing.
have to wait until you can. Yeah, so my mom did that. I graduated, and then I also had to test out a whole semester because I was behind. So you got to test out. You still got to take your finals. I had 2 weeks to study over the Christmas break. Came back. I think I made a B on my finals. So that's how I end up getting out of COA. Not to mention, I was pregnant when I was going. Um, I had my son on Thursday. I was back in class on Monday.
Wow.
Um, with a C-section, I couldn't even cough. I had to hold.
Wow.
So, and then of course, again, my mom was a ram in the bush. A lot of things that I couldn't even do because I was too sore. She would clean up my station and, different things like that. So she was, and after hair school, my mama didn't even go and take her state boards. She's just like, I'm like, Mom, you don't went to hair school. She was like, she wasn't going to take her state board. So it was months and months passed. She finally went and took her state boards, and then she ended up she failed like 2 times, and then she ended up passing. And then once we get out of school, I opened up a hair salon, and then my mom was my assistant. Um,
Mm,
yeah, because I didn't know how to braid, and
okay.
popular for doing sew-ins, and sew-ins require you to braid. But I've just started braiding this year because I don't have an assistant. I always had an assistant my whole career.
Wow. How do you navigate all of that other stuff? How are you able to navigate all those pitfalls, all those obstacles? But you
It was
I
great.
would think that braiding is like hairstyle 101, right?
It's essential because I was known for my sew-ins, and of course, a sew-in you have to braid it. But I've
Right.
always kept an assistant to braid for me. I've always
Mm,
and yeah, I just started, and I still can't braid it good enough for a sew-in. I can only braid because I braid. I can braid wig. Still,
okay.
when I say I toured around um, Northeastern North Carolina doing sew-ins, but I had an assistant. So it had got out. People like, she can't even braid. But I'm like, what do it matter? I don't have to braid. I got an assistant.
Right. Right. That's a fact.
Um, so, that's just one of the things I've overcome it. My mom, after she became my assistant, she never ever done hair since then.
Mm. So she kind of ushered you through the process. Just because whatever her reasoning was, she just kind of ushered you through the process. I'm gonna tell you, my mothers are
Yeah,
they're the closest thing to God, man. I'm telling you.
sure, for sure. Like I owe it to my mom. You know what I'm saying? She'll say things like, like she didn't have a lot of money and stuff like that, but she supported in any way she could. Like my mama came through in the clutch to the point where I can take care of myself and help my mama out. So
That's amazing. That's amazing. Moving forward, you are a celebrity, hairstylist. You're not just local. You know what I'm saying? You mentioned that you have had experience doing hair for K Michelle and Terrell Hicks and so many others. Like, how did that come about? Especially being from the E.
yeah, for sure. I had people tell me straight up like, you gotta move. Like you're not going the stuff you want to do ain't gonna happen because you in Elizabeth City. You gotta move to Atlanta. And I just like my grandparents and stuff is here. Like I'm just not ready to move. And it's one of the things like I I don't know, like just I'm just not ready myself. I'm getting ready, but I wasn't ready all these years. Like,
Right.
determined to make it work where I was. Because I feel like if you're good, they're gonna find you. You know what I'm saying? You could be on the rock, and if you're good, somebody's gonna find you.
That's a fact. That is a
So
fact.
that's the way I took that. And I'm like, we got a university out here. So K Michelle was the first person that I done. And I already knew it was probably gonna come through ECSU. Somebody just said ECSU. Because, having concerts and things like that. So I got a phone call to come out there to do her hair. And then, of course they always go to Virginia. Virginia still is
Mhm.
hot. So I get a phone call to go out to Virginia to do hair, and Atlanta, different little places like that. So that's how I became a celebrity. They'll find you. They'll go on my Instagram. My Instagram is like my portfolio.
That's amazing. And you know what? That's an interesting point because every time, well, most times, not every time, but most times when I speak to people, and this is usually a conversation that I have with artists, like music artists, but the whole small town thing. Like, to let me ask this to you for you. Like, what was the support like in the town, in the city, once
Mm.
you started, kind of getting your footing and you were, more comfortable in what you're doing, and you're starting to gain a reputation for being this master sew-in person, master stylist. What was How were people treating you? What was the reception like in your city?
To me, it's still not. I go in VA. They love me in VA. They still don't love me here. You know,
Mhm.
That's the truth. I won an award in VA. I never been recognized in my city for anything. For real.
Right.
Um, I think it's one of those things, like somebody told me, people start measuring themselves when they see your success.
That's a fact.
They see
That's a
where
fact.
you from here, but you made it, and you don't leave too much room for excuses.
That's
You
a
know,
fact.
he said, so that's what I've always been told. And then of course the cliche of it's hard to make it where you from. Like literally now, my clients still come from at least an hour to 2 hours away to come get it.
Mm,
Very small
mm.
percentage of hometown.
That's amazing. And again, this is a conversation that I usually have with artists, like music artists, comedians, and stuff like that. Um, it's the same old story. It's no matter where you're from,
Mhm.
you literally have to go away and then come back in
Yeah.
order to get
So
any type of recognition or respect,
that when I
whatever.
move away, like you said, when I move away and I'm no longer a threat or however you want to say, that's when it's, oh, she from here. Oh, I know her. That's when it'll be a little bit more respect put on my name once I move away. But while I'm still here, it's still, it's still kind of weird.
Yeah, and it's just an unfortunate truth, and there's a story that I always use in these scenarios, even in the Bible, when Jesus went back to his hometown, the people did not receive him. You know what I'm saying? Even though they heard about what he was doing, even though they heard about the miracles he was performing, they still thought of him as the carpenter's son, because
Yeah.
that was what he was when they saw him last.
Mhm.
But so in other words, people's impression of you or their opinion of you, it never evolves, even though you do.
Mhm.
So it's like that's always an interesting thing to me. Let me ask you this. Since you started to now, when you think of starting from where you started to now, from an industry standpoint, what would you say has changed the most?
From an industry standpoint, what's changed the most? Let's see what's changed. There's more younger people doing their thing, and they doing their thing at the house. So it's more
Mhm.
competition now. You know, from from uh, from that standpoint, you got more competition. I guess it's going to be really like, is there a certain area are you talking about when you say change, or just like the overall as far as like I said,
Yeah,
more?
like when you look back from the time you started to now, was there something that you said, well, dang, back when I started, it used to be like this, but now it's not like that at all.
No,
You know what I'm
no.
saying? Or it's totally different or whatever. Ha- is there something that you see that
The only thing,
you
like, going back to younger people and everybody doing hair, back when I first started, you'll have a shop and it'll be booths and it'll be everybody under one roof grinding doing hair. Now everybody wants to be a boss. Everybody got a hair salon here, hair salon there, suite here, suite there. It's so divided. We used to have shop unity where a lot of dope stylists will work in one shop and just bang it out, but you don't really see that now. Everybody has their own brand, their own thing going. And that's really the only thing that I think really has changed. Everything else is kind of the same.
what's the difference between doing a celebrity and doing uh Jenny from the block?
Well, I wish TT was still in here because it ain't too much difference. She's a freaking diva, just like a celebrity. Like, my um the type of clientele I cater to or whatever, they they divas, they baddies. So it's I ain't gonna say they picky, but they like to look good. They like superstar. They just like, so it's the same to me. Because if K Michelle or Cash Doll particular because they have an image, my clients act the same way. They
Mm,
good. They want their hair to how they want their hair. So
yeah. I mean, I guess when you really look at it, we all, I
yeah,
guess wherever we're from, we all got a certain swag that we trying to consistently, portray
yeah.
in our area. So I guess you're right. Um, having the experience with some of the celebrity clients that you've had, what effect has that actually had on your actual day-to-day business? Has it been something that has propelled it, or is it just
It
it was
propels.
just it was just a moment or whatever? Like what was it?
I think it's like every time I do a client, of course the talk is greater. It brings more
Mhm.
business, bringing more people searching for me, looking for me, see who I am. Like, I just went to the hospital like last week to get some lunch, and there's more people that know my name and know my brand and know my face.
Wow.
They
Wow.
heard Tishima Grammy, they know Tishima Grammy, but they don't know Tishima Grammy, and it's funny to see. And when they say, I just my attitude, I'm always kind of calm, cool like this, and I
Wow.
think I don't know what they expect me to act like or whatever, but they just be like the lady at the hospital, she's like, "Oh my God, that was you the whole time. I was complimenting you. I told you I like what you had on." I don't know if I'm supposed to be like, "Hey, by the way, I'm Tishima Grammy." you know, I was like,
Ah, ah.
"Thank you." She was like, "That was you the whole time. I done heard about you," because somebody else was telling her about me. So I actually like it. I like it from that point of view that, like, my name is bigger than myself, and Queen of
Mhm.
Diamonds is bigger than my name.
That's a fact. Wow. And like I alluded to earlier, you know, I researched you. I looked at some of the stuff, and I was very pleasantly surprised about the amount of the not just the quality, but the quantity of the content that was out there, connected to you, whether it be interviews that you personally did, or maybe expos that you attended, or um, like videos of some of the work that you've done that we're about to get into now, creating the actual wigs and units, or I'm not sure what term
Both is
what term to use, but the expos and the videos of the thing that the headpieces that you created,
yeah.
and all of that. I was pleasantly surprised by that. So like I think that people I think I'm not I don't think I'm the only one, put it that way. So you've
I,
definitely been busy.
yeah. Like I that it just go back to my but my name is like I don't know. It's opposite for me. Okay, I know that person face, but I can't get the name.
That's a
But
fact.
it's opposite is I know the name. I didn't know you was the person.
Right,
So
right,
that's crazy to me.
right. So, like, what being able to this is being able to enhance someone's appearance, whether it be a barber or a makeup person, or in your case, a hairstylist. To me, is an amazing gift because many of us attach our very personality, our spirit, to how we present ourselves. And if you are like above average when it comes to doing this, like it's got to be a great mantle. But personally, what would you say? What does it do for you to be able to create and do things for people that literally, in a lot of cases, change lives? Just like, maybe even like a doctor, or or a past, you actually are changing people's lives in a lot of respects. So, like, what does that do for you personally when you look in the mirror at night or in the morning? Like, what do you see?
I don't know. Um, I I just work. I don't never really take it in. You know,
Mm,
you're my
mm.
client. They was like, oh my gosh, like Miss Cynthia today. She was like, Tishima, like don't leave us. Like don't let those celebrities take you away from.
Right.
Like I be like Miss Cynthia, like I got a plan. I'm like I'm not gonna take no more new clients. After that, I'm gonna do another chop. It'll just be my faithful clients because I feel like I still owe my faithful clients like a part of me.
Hmm.
I want to like I have people that's been with me since like I have a few people that's been with me for at least 10 years. Faithful. Don't touch their hair. Be ready to cry if I can't do their hair. So it's
Wow.
like I never. But to answer your question, like I never like take that part in. Like, oh my gosh, you're really the no. I gotta go to work. I gotta do Miss Cynthia here, here, this person here. There. I never take that in. The only time I get to reflect just a little about what I'm doing is when they're telling me in that seat, and I'm just listening of how passionate they're coming across. Like, girl, what she said. She work at a funeral home, and just when people her compliment how good it make her feel. Like I don't know. I never look at myself to just to be like, you know,
Wow. That's amazing. Like, and not that I thought that you would be arrogant or anything like that. I honestly did not think that. But you come across very down home, very, very humble. Like, um, who what would you say influences that? Who influences that spirit the most?
God
God.
for sure, because I fear Him, and
Mm,
if He give it, He can take it away.
that's a fact.
That keeps me humble. I mean, those empty walls of mannequins with them wigs gone. That's a constant reminder to stay humble because not saying that He wanted it to happen, but He did allow it to happen, and
Mm,
I feel like even my next season, I'm going to be even bigger. My name going to be bigger. So that taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? That instant taught me a lot. But like I said, it keeps me humble. It keeps me humble. Like when I say God, people always blame God. But no, I'm for real, like God. And then at the end of the day, it's not me. Like I'm just a vessel. Like He want to get the glory in everything that I do. So I give Him the glory. I'm just His little worker.
mm. We talked about well, you talked about um many of the obstacles and many of the things that you had to kind of navigate in order to get where you are now.
Yeah.
We, let's talk about the losses, that some of the losses
Mm.
that you endured. during this time, and how it has impacted you till today. Like you were telling me that your business was broken into at one point.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that experience?
And then, like you said, what keeps you humble? My journey starting out humbled me. Starting hair school over 3 times when having to go work at hair cuttery. My grandfather built me a little shop right beside his house, and the city wouldn't let me open it because they said it was in a residential area, brand new. I had to go work at hair
Mm,
cuttery. Like all of that, it's like God's like, I know what you're gonna be, so let me give you all this humble pie right now. So when
wow.
you you're gonna know how to maneuver. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing worse than like getting all the way to the top and then falling. I'd rather take the slow way to learn and then get to the
Mm,
top and be stable than to shoot there, not knowing anything, being arrogant, and then falling.
mm. That's amazing. That is amazing. So how did someone um breaking into your shop, for instance, how did that?
Like I'm still paranoid because of that. You know, I'm still paranoid. I don't feel like it was nobody from my city. Maybe someone from my city orchestrated it, but they got outside people to come and do the act.
Mm,
Um, it disturbed my peace. My shop was my peace. Now I kind of work out of my house. I limit my time of being in my shop. I'm not here, and I have a beautiful shop. I got
mhm.
two sides. I open it up. I love my shop, but it compromised my peace. So, and that hurts because, like I said, my shop was like my pride and joy. But I do understand that sometimes God makes you uncomfortable when it's almost time for you to move or do something different.
Mm. What was your first thought? Was that your first thought to move?
Yeah, for sure. My first thought was to get out of here. Um, Sometimes like my thoughts be like, I'm low. I feel like I'm low key. You don't see me out much. And when that happened, it makes me want to continue to like be to myself, shell up. I don't trust people. I don't know if you had something to do with it. I don't know if you plotted against me. You know what I'm saying? So it do create a certain level of paranoia. Like I have a tour coming up in Raleigh in January, and when I used to tour, I felt like I was more carefree. Now that that happened, I have to watch everything, how I post, information I give out, different things like that. It just created a
Absolutely.
certain level.
Absolutely. How
It's like
did
to
COVID?
me,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
finish that last part. Like to me, I'm Tishima, I'm regular, I'm me. But to a lot of other people, I'm a celebrity, and I
Mm,
used to brush that off. I used to brush that off, but it's been too many incidents to say you really got to start taking yourself a little more
right.
serious.
Right. Right. That's another
So,
interesting point, Mr. Shima, that you brought up, and that was something that I shared with somebody a while back. Like I think it might have been one of my other guests. We have if we in order for us to be the best us in whatever career that we choose or we feel that God has given us to give,
mhm.
we got to walk in it.
Mm,
So if you are Tishima Gramby, the hairstylist, you gotta walk, you gotta be it. You
yeah.
gotta eat it. You gotta breathe it. You gotta say it. You gotta live it.
It took me a
Because
while.
what people
Yeah.
because what people will do, and I've seen this with this very podcast. People will say, hey Mike, I seen your little podcast. You know
I
what I'm
knew you
saying?
were going to say
You know
that.
what I'm saying? And so like you hear that and you want to stay humble, so you say, "Yeah, I got my little,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
not doing that anymore." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Mhm.
in order for you to, in order for you to walk in your fullness,
Yeah.
you gotta be it. If
You
you're
got
gonna
to,
be the president, you gotta be the president today.
that's a fact. That's
You
a
know,
fact. Yeah. You already got to call it. Like, it's like the faith, you already got to call it. like you know what it's
Right.
going, not what it is today.
Right.
And I didn't want people to feel, or I didn't want to make it uncomfortable. I didn't want to make it uncomfortable. You know,
Right.
we Diva
Right.
Gramby, celebrity stylist, da da da. So I kind of, but I'm not necessarily like that now. You know, I call it my Diddy moments where I'm take that, take that, take that. You know, I have my,
Right.
but because you gotta have your moments sometimes. Because like you said, you lose, so you gotta
Right.
Diddy on them. You know, you gotta remind them like I'm really
Right.
her, her.
Right.
For the most part, I just be chilling.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that people kind of misconstrue because I'm to a certain extent, I'm like you. I'm very mild mannered. I'm very like low key, like whatever. And I think that people sometimes people don't take you serious because you're not always outside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In the
And
limelight,
so,
doing
right.
big.
So if you're not outside, then you must not be doing that. But really, it's really the opposite. If you're not outside, then you must be working.
You got a lot
You
of
know what
stuff.
I'm saying?
You got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. Like I
Yeah.
be now, like for years since my manager passed away. She passed away. Passed away. That also back outside, like real event, secure the bag. That was my time coming back outside. I don't know. It was just kind of traumatic. It was, yeah. So I'm just getting back out there.
Mhm.
She was like she
I was
passed
gonna
away from
I was
cancer.
gonna
She
save that. I was gonna save that for a little later, but
oh
since you mentioned it, you were uh, and it's funny, right? Because before I say it, it was funny, right? Because I approached you and I was like, um, "Can I interview you?" And you were like, "Don't we already have? Don't we already have an interviews lined up or whatever?" And I checked my calendar. I was like, dang, she's right. You know what I'm saying? But like you, like I'm moving. I'm
yeah.
constantly moving. So like I'm trying to set up stuff way, and I try to do things at least a month in advance. And so like I was like, I felt I was kind of embarrassed, but then at the same time, I was like, I'm working though. Like I'm working.
You're not leaving a stone unturned. Like that's what you.
Right. So like that was a funny moment for me. But you were voted the entrepreneur of the year at this year's Secure the Bag conference, which was coincidentally my first attending, and I was very impressed, by
Mine
the
too.
way.
Mine too.
Um, what was that whole experience like? Where did you know that you were even being considered? Like, what was that all about?
I didn't know. It kind of caught me off guard. I, and even when I was sitting down, they was like, "We seen your name on the check." I'm like, "I wear glasses, like I can't see that like that." But yeah, that it caught me off guard. But it was. I felt like I needed it because it's a reminder that even after that, something like a robbery, like you still doing your thing. They still see you. Like that robbery ain't nothing. It's like you take a lick, you keep on ticking. Like you still hurt.
Right. That's a fact. So tell me what role has your family played? Like we already talked about your mom, but are there any other family members that you could say, or maybe close friends or whatever? What role have they played in your whole journey in your process?
Well, my husband, like that's my best friend. Like if I go to him, he gonna try to fix it. He gonna see about it, whatever.
Mhm.
So, and the thing about it, my husband don't got no social media, none. You
So
know,
you never see it coming.
never
Right,
see like
right.
so. He played the background. He let me. And like I said, let me. Some people like, let you, yeah, let me. Let me be the best person I can be. Because some people be with the BS and you can't even be the best person you can be. So he don't
Mhm.
get in my way. He just support me. You know, my son, I have two sons, same thing. Like they're more involved in my other business, in my real estate business. But like, you know, here, like we got to hit the road tonight. Like we got to drive me so I can be on time in the morning to the on set. So like whatever I need to do, like they're very supportive. My aunt, she do hair. That's who I looked up to growing up. I can call her and she, you know, hype me up, whatever. Um, and then I got like best friends too that I talk to, but we never like really. We be talking about some just everything. I got one friend, like I said, she's more into real estate. My other best friend, she do hair like me. We talk about hair, like you know, different people play different parts.
That's a fact.
My
Um,
grandmother's, you know, I got my grandma's my backbone. But believe it or not, like hair is not my outside of the shop. I don't talk about hair a lot.
right, right. I mean, you gotta have a place where you're not who you are, in a sense. You
Hollywood.
gotta
Yeah.
dress.
I be seeing circles sometimes when I come home. My whole body be hurting, you know,
Right,
because I'm doing a lot of work. I'm getting wigs prepared to be shipped places. I'm
right.
doing clients' wigs. It's like it's a lot, and I only work 2.5 days a week, so I be having
Mhm.
to. So when I'm not
That's
home, we want to talk about it too much.
that's amazing. So you kind of mentioned it, so we're gonna segue right into it. What are some other business ventures that what are some of the other business ventures that you are involved in?
Real estate. So it's like hair or real estate. And little things in between. But those are I didn't want to be like a jack of all trades and a master of none. So I
Mhm.
with real estate and with hair. So like I'm a landlord. I got rental properties. I'm doing that. Always just like investing, you know, investing in different things. But yeah, that's my other thing that we do with real estate.
Wow. Um, in the real estate, do they ever do your businesses ever intersect? Do they ever cross paths? Like your real estate, you gain hair business from the real estate, or you gain real estate from the hair business. I mean, especially working in a shop, people are talking about their issues and they're talking about stuff that they need, and that's the main place where a lot of business is being done.
They do.
Especially in the Black community. So, like,
I'm
do
telling
they ever do they ever cross paths?
you, my clients don't like tell. My clients don't see. They don't tell me like stuff like that.
Mm.
Nobody really tell me. They always talking about me. They just like how proud they is of me and stuff like that. They never like. They might tell me a little bit of something about a dude every now and then, but it's nothing about
Right.
girl. Like you know, it might be every now and then that they might lost their job. And girl, you know, I would give me another wig. Good girl, I done lost my job. Every now and then, that's about as deep as that goes. But they don't woe is me. They don't do that.
Got you. So it's not like in the barbershop. Like in the barbershop, yo, it's different. It's
Really,
different.
women they so strong. They so
Yeah,
strong. They gonna
right.
figure. Not gonna sit here and so.
Listen, we go in there. I take my son to get his haircut. There's no telling what subject that's gonna be discussed when we might walk into the middle of. It's crazy. So I thought maybe it was the same
It's
same way.
every now and then it might get a little crazy every now and then, but I keep music playing and it be kind of
Mhm.
loud. So we just be vibing. We don't do a lot of talking.
Yeah. Well, that's that. Well, here, like in the barbershop, they do that too. But then it starts off with, who's the best rapper,
Really?
right now, and then that's how it'll start, and then we'll go from who's the best rapper to
To the
who,
ball game.
who, yeah, football, or who's the flyest actress. the best looking actress or the best looking rapper or the best looking whatever, and then it just kind of goes from whatever. But
No.
you
Only
know,
like it was like 2 weeks ago. My mama came to visit, and she'll try to have church in here sometimes. She go, don't take the
uh,
then when she come to visit. But other than that, then it be girls in here they be crying and stuff. Like, but
mhm.
other than that, they be like, I just love your mama, her spirit. Uncle Goldsboro. But other than that, the girls just be on their phone.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That's definitely different, than when,
Back,
my mom used to make me go to the hairdresser with her,
yeah.
Um,
I think if I
and
had other stylists, it'd be maybe that if we're all in here together. I'm thinking that might be some of the vibe we'll be talking amongst ourselves. But Ben's just be me and my clients and stuff. And every now and then I'll have several clients together. But for the most part, they kind of come in one after the other. So
right, that's amazing. So let's talk about the hair itself. Now, I'm a dude, so clearly this is not in my wheelhouse. This is not my expertise or whatever. So please don't laugh at these questions that I'm asking you. They're purely, because I don't know any better. So I'm gonna ask you. Um, like I hear, just from maybe eavesdropping from other women and different stuff like that, but like you have different types of hair, Brazilian hair and Asian hair and all these different types of hair. So for you, like how knowledgeable, like is there a science to that? Like how knowledgeable do you have to be to
well,
know?
you gotta got like I took a trip to China just to
Okay.
see the different grades instead
Hmm.
of because if you don't go to China, you just got random people, vendors reaching out. Everybody say they got the best hair. You know,
Hmm.
you can't test all of them.
Right.
But the best move for me it was to go and actually see what's the difference between that. Okay, this is what real virgin hair feel like. This is what
Hmm.
Cambodian hair feel like. This is what Brazilian hair feel like. And so I was able to go right straight to the source. And then, this is the vendor I want to work with. This is the vendor I'm going to order from. And then even get in my own factory, have my own little small factory out there.
Mm.
hmm Um, to be able to tweak different things. I can tell him, I want this, I want the hairline this way, that way, and they do that for me. So, yep.
Well, what have you or somebody that you've heard about? Um, I'm trying to frame the question correctly. What's the weirdest story that you've ever heard or experienced about somebody trying to find hair? Like somebody like you trying to find the perfect hair. Like how far, what lengths do people go? What's the weirdest thing that you or the most interesting thing that you've heard where people have gone out of their way to do something to get a certain type of hair?
Well, I don't know if I know any like weird things. The weirdest thing I think when people order on Amazon and the vendor on Amazon send them like Barbie doll hair, it don't even be real. It just be some synthetic crazy mess. um,
Wow.
Craziest thing. Um, Other than that, like I know other people that took taking trips to different places to get sourced to get good hair.
Mhm.
Get some water. But excuse me. I don't know. That's about it.
That is amazing. I was joking with you offline about how this whole business resembles
Mhm.
the drug game almost because you got people trying to find the plug. They're trying to get the connect, you know what I'm saying, that nobody else has to kind of corner their particular market.
Like I don't
Um,
a lot of people like me that just went, and it's actually my mentor, the only person I know that kind of like went to Cambodia to get her hair.
Mm. Wow.
They
Wow.
they they rather do what they did to me. They rather steal it than
Mm.
themselves, to go get the real stuff. They rather do sneaky stuff to try to steal other people's vendors. They're not really putting in that work in like that for real.
So you have so it's like, is that like you're the people that you work with, overseas, that give you to give you the hair or whatever. Like, so is that a secret? Is that something that you kind of keep
That's a big
close to
secret.
you?
Hmm.
Said it again?
That's a big secret because I got
Okay.
some really bomb hair.
Yeah.
Like I got
Okay.
really bomb hair. I was mad because I didn't get a chance to do my hair today. Like even my hair is not done, but they always say your hair looks, when it's not done, it still look better than people hair that just got done. Like, man,
Wow.
I was planning on doing it before I jumped in here, but I ran out of time. So it's a big secret. Like I wouldn't sell that. I wouldn't sell my secret. I got offered money to sell,
Mm.
but no. What I did do before was I would wholesale it. I would let people buy it from me wholesale. People that's not in the area, they have to be like some hours away. I
Mm.
I did used to do that, but I'm not even doing that anymore because people, they'll start out saying, I got the hair from her. They'll try to tag me, but then they'll try to go a cheaper route and still say it's like my hair. Like, people,
Hmm.
people already always doing like little, and you give them a little inch, they'll take a mile, something like that. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, now that batch not come from us. That's not our hair. So I don't even do that anymore.
That's it. So I only have a couple of more questions for you. I know you trying to get out of there. Um, Respectfully, and I always start this with respectfully. Shout out to Jana. She always laughs at me about what I'm about to ask. Respectfully, you are an attractive woman. Okay. So with that being said, in your business, is that a help or is that a hindrance? And the reason why I asked that, let me give you a little context, is that people will look at you and make a judgment based off the fact that you look a certain way. So for instance, I might look at you and say, Shima is very well put together. Her hair makeup's done, her hair is good, she's pretty. She probably don't know nothing about business. I might be able to get 90% and just give her 10. Just
Mm.
because just because they assume that because you are, who you are, they feel like they can get over on you. Oh, she's too cute to be able to know what she's actually doing.
Mm.
Or maybe she's so into the creative part that she don't really have the knowledge or the whatever or the know-how or the experience to really deal with me in a real business thing. So I can probably get over on her. Is that something that is that a thing? Does that even exist? Does that type of thing exist? Somebody like maybe being prejudiced towards you because, as the old people say, you look like something.
Um, I think looking like something helped me more than not because
Mm,
people look at me and say it looks like you can do hair, or they look at me and say that's who I want to do my hair. Like we're in a era of I don't know the word that I want to say. People want to be connected to things that
mm,
look good. So I'm if I gotten tried like that, it's been a long time ago. I feel like it.
mm,
As a matter of fact, it's been. I think when I went to China, I think a dude was like, he wanna give me some money. Like he wanted to give me some money like get in business with me. I can front you, one of those type of ordeals.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't need the money. I need people to help me hustle this hair. You gonna sell this hair? You know what I'm saying? The money,
Right.
the easy, the easy
Right.
part is make some sales is what I need someone to help me move the product. Like that would be crazy. You want to invest this amount of money to a return. You're not doing that. I don't need an investor. I need some people to help me move the hair. You
Right.
know,
Right.
that was that was probably the only thing that I thought was you think I'm stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Right. Right. Right.
I don't know. I don't really get tried no other way. I think because when they go to my Facebook or my social media, it already set a tone that like I'm a boss. Like, and I ain't no fake boss. I'm a real boss.
Right.
It kind of
It's funny to me how people don't. They feel like beauty and brains can't be
can't
together.
go.
Like you either have one or the other. You know what I'm saying? You can't have both.
I feel like I got more brains than beauty for real.
Mm,
I really do. Like you got to wake up really early doing on me
I
because
know that's right. I
I
know that's right.
I will sit here and listen to you in this same tone of you running game, and you really thinking you're ahead of yourself because of the tone that I'm responding to you in, and the whole
Right.
time I just think I'm like that gonna suck. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really,
Right.
really
Right.
thinking yeah.
Right.
So
Okay. So I guys got a couple more questions. This question, what would you say is the most common misconception that people have about you?
that I'm bougie.
Mm,
And I think it's how you define it. Everybody got their definition of bougie. But I don't like when they use the bougie could be fine, but the unapproachable think I'm better than like that's not really I'm better than some stuff, but as far as just being better because of material things or things like that, no. If I'm better than it's just because the way I think,
got you.
morals or something like that, but not because of something material defining me, thinking I'm better than somebody because I have something material. You know,
Mm,
I
I
think
get
that
it. I get you. This is my last official question for you. It's a question that I ask all my guests. So once I ask, I just want you to take a moment and think about it and give me the most honest and transparent answer that you can possibly give me. And here's the question: what would have to happen in your life, if it hasn't happened already, for you to consider your life a success? What does success look
Ooh,
like for you specifically?
that's a very, very hard question. Because when people tell me right now you're successful, I don't really think so. Like I
Mm,
don't not to where self, not to where I know I'm not to the success where I know I'm going to be.
mm,
So I don't know what to call this. I mean, do I call this successful? I mean, maybe I guess, but that's like I said, it's really hard. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do for me to say, "Wow, girl, you're successful." I really don't know what that's gonna take because I'm always trying to outdo what I just done.
mm. I guess when you stop doing that, that's when you know it's time to get to give it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Like right now, my next level of success is, working on movie sets. Like
Mm,
I say that, and I have one to work on tomorrow. I my first official on set is tomorrow, and it's like I thought I measured that as successful, but now that I'm about to do it, now I'm like, okay, I need to do at least 10 to be successful. You know what I'm saying? The bar is
So,
crazy.
are you able to share a little bit about this movie, or do you have to keep that under wraps for now?
I share, it's called Pay Dirt. James Jones is director, producer, and he's actually out of Greenville. He Freedom of North Carolina was his other movie that he did about 2 years ago. So this one's Pay Dirt is starring Terrell Hicks, Keisha. Well, people know her Keisha from Belly or Jane from The Bronx Tales. So
Mhm.
that's
My favorite movie.
my favorite movie. Oh my gosh! Like when I tell people that, I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
that's my favorite movie from Bronx Tales. Like, I love
Yeah.
Belly too. Your favorite Belly or
Yeah.
Bronx
Those are like in my top five. I'm
Tales?
from New York. I'm from New York. So
I'm telling you. So
yeah.
it's like we had a Zoom call like 2 weeks ago just to go over here, and I always try to put my best hair for. You know, they say your best foot, but I'm a hair person, so I put my best hair for. So I like
Right.
and my hair really nice, and we was on Zoom, and she was telling me how she want her hair for the photo shoot, and she was gonna come with her weave already in her head, and she just wanted me to curl it, whatever, and I was cool with that. But right at the end of the phone, at the end of the Zoom, kind of looked and she said, "Is that one of your wigs you're wearing?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so basically, she was like, because she was like, she don't really wear wigs like that.
Mhm.
So well, let me. She want to talk to her manager to see about changing her hair because she wants to wear, one of my wigs, and it just comes from me always saying, I put my best hair forward because that's really good publicity for me. Like it's good hair with someone else hair, but it's better if I do a hair with my hair.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. And listen, I mean, it's only sky's the limit as far as as far as I'm concerned. There's only a small percentage of people doing what you're able to do, and you're breaking that whole stereotype of having to move to Atlanta or move to California or move to New York in order to be who you want to be. um that's amazing, like being able to just stay. And I think that has a lot to do with social media and stuff like that as well, that takes away kind of takes away the need to have to go somewhere to like Chicago, like I said, Chicago or New York or Atlanta or whatever. So that's really dope that you can stay in your hometown and not only stay there, but be able to flourish, even though the support can be kind of sketchy
Yeah.
at times. I definitely understand that.
The only thing I
But
think we didn't is like
yeah,
the only thing we didn't touch on is like when you said Chicago, like
mhm,
supplying TV shows. Like I supply wigs for The Shy, season 5, season 6, and a few unscripted shows. And even an opportunity like that, they're shooting in Chicago. There's a lot of dope stylists in Chicago, but they
right,
with me. You know what I'm saying? So that's like I said, meant for you. You could be under rock, people still find you. Because they just through my Instagram. And like it's no excuse. Like you really can manifest your life or what you want to do.
absolutely, absolutely. I feel like we just kind of scratched the surface, and this is one of the things that I don't like about doing this because it's only an hour,
Yeah.
and you only get to, you got to try to cram everything in
I think
that hour.
I think we did good.
Um,
Everything.
I'm sorry, say it again.
We did good. Besides that little piece, we touched everything for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I that's the only thing. That's the only thing. Like I try to cover everything, but
You did good.
still try to make it conversational too. It's crazy, but it's fun. I love it. Um, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, if they want advice about hair, maybe they want to get their hair done, maybe they're a producer producing a movie and they want you on the set, whatever the case may be. Um, how do they get in touch with you?
They can always hit me on my Facebook. Like I'm not one of those people that you can't DM. Like this business for
Mhm.
sure. Just shoot me a message. Tishima Grammy on Facebook. I am underscore the Weaver Diva on Instagram. I think everything's on the flyer on my handles. I think.
Absolutely. And please check her out. Check out her work on YouTube, man. Just type in Tishima Gramby and like I'm telling you, like
Oh, stuff.
there-
Oh my gosh. I be
there is a whole wing set up just for Tishima Granby. Like she must have an office in YouTube or something. I don't know. But
man.
but yeah, yeah, absolutely. I definitely take my hat off to you for all that you've been able to accomplish and all the things that you've been able to overcome. Um, Especially having to restart school 3 times. That's crazy. That's crazy. There were many people that would have probably given up after the first time. Figure, hey, that's a sign that I'm not supposed to be doing it. You know what I'm saying? So like that's amazing. Um, is there anything that you want to share with the people before we sign off?
Shop queenofdiamondshairboutique.com.
Okay. That's hey, listen, do your thing. Do your thing. Mr. Shima, I want to thank you sincerely for coming on to the platform. I know that you have so much stuff going on and you're about to hit the road even now. So I appreciate you taking a moment to sit down with us and just kind of allowing us to kind of pick your brain on everything that you've been up to and everything that you have going forward. I really appreciate it and I do not take it for granted.
Thank you for having me. Thank
Absolutely. So with that being said, man, I wish you much blessings on everything that you have going on and even the things that have not even entered into your mind yet. I wish you blessings on that as well. Your
you.
family, shout out to your husband. What's his name? Shout his name out on here.
His name is Jimmy.
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 Shout out to Mr. Jim. He's not Gramby.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Jimmy Gramby for allowing us to borrow you for this short time. Again, I wish y'all much blessings on everything and on the movie set and that whole thing.
Same
Um,
everything that you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it. So you be safe on the road and you be safe on the set and just be safe, period.
Thank
And
you.
have an amazing weekend. And
Um,
hopefully I would and oh last thing, I want you to consider this an open invitation. Anytime you have something that you want to promote or talk about that you want to put on display or whatever, please hit us up. Definitely have you on again. I do panels. I do beauty panels where we actually talk about what beauty is and how beauty is defined. I would love to have you on to be one of the panelists in the future. I believe that would be super dope. Um, and with that being said, I thank you.
no problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, you have a good night.
You too. Good night.
There you have it, guys. Another amazing guest. Shout out to Miss Tishima Gramby. Please check her out on YouTube. Check her out on Facebook. Queen of Diamonds. She's based out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. She's a celebrity stylist. She's worked with Cash Doll and um, K Michelle and now Terrell Hicks and so many others. So, please support her if you're in this, if you're in her city, if you're not in her city, if you're in the surrounding areas, please check her out. Even if you're not in the surrounding areas, please check her out. That's what we need to do. Support our own and make her name great. It's already great, but let's help her out. But as always, if you have a vision that God has given you, placed within your spirit, something that keeps you up at night, something that you know that you're supposed to do, but you feel like you're limited because of finances or personal issues within yourself, I implore you now that now is the best time to just do it, as the Nike motto says, because God is with you. And if He gave you the vision, He's going to give you provision. So please, we're depending on you to make that decision to do that because God has allowed us to be connected. So what you do has the potential to affect what I am able to do in the future. We all have a remnant of folks that are connected to us that can only receive what they need from us. They're depending on us to go left or right, up or down. So with that being said, it's not just about you. It's about us too. We need you. We need each other. So with that being said, step out on faith and do you know, what God is troubling you to do. So with that being said, man, I will see you guys next week. Thank you for coming on and checking us out. We'll see you next week when we have another amazing guest. So with that being said, man, let's take a walk.